All right, welcome back to WCBI Sunrise here on Fox 4. Miss Becky Smith with the Mississippi State Extension Services is joining us in studio this morning. How are you doing, Miss Becky?
Good, thank you, Keely.
Well, thank you for joining us. So we're talking about budgeting and a specific type of budgeting. So walk us through loud budgeting. What is it?
Loud budgeting. It's a new term for me that's trending on the social media.
We love it.
So I was really excited to learn about it because I'm all about budgeting. But budgeting isn't a term that we like. Like budgeting is like a constraint.
It kind of makes you tense. Yes.
Exactly. So anytime we can get some help and figure out how to message better. So loud budgeting is essentially being proud of saving. So you're like, I'm being creative in new ways to find cheaper alternatives.
And do we think the loud came from social media? Because I do have some people I follow, and they're trending because they are saving in other ways.
Yes, exactly.
And so what's the start, though, of loud budgeting?
So it was in response to quiet luxury. So I guess that's the idea of buying conspicuously to show off, like, oh, I'm buying this expensive thing.
Gotcha.
So now 2024 is supposed to be the year for loud budgeting, which today's April 1st. So April is Financial Literacy Month. So it's a great time to highlight being proud of saving money. Yeah, and so the idea really is about this concept of self-leadership. Right, knowing your own self, knowing your limits, getting rid of the FOMO, and then just letting people know around you, like, these are my goals. This is what I want to save money. I don't want to spend money on these extra things. And you just put it out there. And most of the time, people are going to be like happy, like, oh yeah, I struggle with that too. And so if you can get that self-leadership where you can identify your own values and then share that, then you can take others along with you.
So why would you say it's so easy for us not to be able to budget? I know, like, we may not like it, but do you think it's the culture nowadays where it's so hard to budget?
Well, budgeting is hard because of that. We want to be with everybody. We don't want to be left out. And it's just expensive to live right now.
It is.
So it's all in there.
And so you said to start with goals. So what maybe is that first goal I need to take, that first step?
Well, that's a great question, and that's different for each of us. And so it's even before we get goals, we want to know our values. So and then even before that, we want to know, how are we spending our money? So a lot of times people don't even have an idea. We're just out there.
Just swiping the card. No, see, I have a problem where if I have cash, it doesn't count as money because I can't see the numbers going away.
Yes, yeah.
And so for us to understand how much we're spending, should we maybe write everything down, go back to the checkbooks? What would you recommend?
Yeah, that's a great first step, is starting to look at what it is I'm spending.
It's going to hurt somebody all out there.
And so that's the first feedback. And then you can go, oh, is this really my value? Is this really how I want to be spending my money? And maybe it is, and great. And then maybe not. And so then you can say, okay, so now I'm going to figure out, how do I really want to spend my money? Where are my goals, and how do I align that? So with goals, though, we want to be careful, because the first thing that people tend to do is to be too, set really large, unachievable. So we want to make them realistic. We want to think about time limited. So if you want to save so much, then have an amount and a time.
Perfect. So have your goals, set your budget, write down your spending, guys, so you can see what we're spending all our money on. But we still have more after the break.